All right, y'all, let's just get together. Envision this right now. We are together. We're having coffee or tea, whatever the thing is that you want to drink. You have that in your hand. And we're talking about feeling frustrated about not getting the things done that we want to get done. So, this episode is about that. It's about how do we overcome those feelings of frustration when we don't do enough. I'm saying this in quotation marks. You know how at the end of the day, sometimes we get in our bed and we're just like frustrated that we didn't get the things done that we wanted to get done, you know? And a lot of times it's things that we, like me, you wanted to get done and you didn't do because you did all the things for like everybody else and you're not moving forward on that thing. Or maybe you didn't get that thing done that you've been wanting to get done because you've been avoiding a little bit, if you're keeping it real. Because maybe there's some feelings associated with that thing that you don't like feeling, but yet you know you need to do this thing so that you're done being frustrated. Because otherwise it's just like every day you feel that way, right? You're procrastinating. A lot of times I hear my clients tell me, I'm just frustrated, Ange. And I say, why? And they say, because I just didn't get all the things done that I wanted to get done. And usually it's like a running list of things that like you ain't ever going to get all those things done, you know? So it's like, what are you doing? Are you going to choose to be frustrated for the rest of your life because you have not gotten all the things done that you want to get done? And I'm saying this because I think that a lot of times we're not even clear about why we're frustrated. Sometimes you're like, it's just all the things I've been wanting to do and I haven't been able to do all of them. Like they're just, and you're like, well, what things? What exact things are you talking about? And then when we like boil it all down, usually it's just this one thing that we could do that is like been like something around that has been stealing our energy, but we could do that thing and we could free up so much of what I would call that catabolic energy that's showing up for us. You know, we can get clarity in that area if we need to and move forward from it. All right. So that was a lot to lead into this, but I feel like now we're on the same page. I got my coffee. I'm going to take a sip. No, I'm not because it's hot as hell and it's going to burn my mouth. Okay. Anywho, moving on. So 3 steps to follow through I'm going to talk about today on anything. First off, I want to give a shout out to the people that have been leaving reviews, like Jill, my girl, and YT Supreme Trucking. Thank y'all so much. One of my goals this year is to really grow our reviews, bring in the people like you that are listening so we can like do more fun things together. I don't know what the future holds, but I just want to have fun together, you know? Retreats, I don't know. Just like hang out, have coffee, whatever. So today, though, we're on episode 93. Can we just acknowledge that we're in episode 93? I want to go back to my old self. I want you to think about your old self because it's ain't all about me. It's about you thinking about yourself too. So your old self would be so proud of you right now for all the stuff that you have overcome, what you're choosing to do with your life now, that you're investing in your future self. If only she would have known back then who you'd be now. And I know some of you guys are like, but I'm not where I want to be, Ange. But look at how far you've come. I mean, really, look at how far you've come. And a lot of you that are saying, I'm not where I want to be yet, look at you investing in yourself to be her, though, right now, even listening to this. So, why was I bringing that up again? I was bringing it up because I remember my old self being so afraid to start a podcast. Like, I was like, what, people are going to listen to me? Like, what? Why would they listen to me? You know, all your mind trash shows up. It's like, who am I to do this? That's meant for someone else, right? That's not for me. Like, all this, like, drama in our minds that we make up. And then here I am now in episode 93. I've created 93 freaking episodes. And it started with what? It started with me having the courage to show up and move past all my BS stories in my mind. So I want you to think about that for you in your life right now. You have some BS stories. You know you do. The mind trash that shows up around why you can't do X thing. or that's not possible for you. I just want you to like shine a light on that mind trash, shine a light on it, and take it out. And then move forward in your life and take actions to be her, who you want to be. Seek opportunity to be that person, even if it's uncomfortable. So I was so uncomfortable, I'm saying, like starting this whole thing. And then here we are. And now we have all these listeners. We've got all these amazing opportunities that have showed up because I chose courage over fear. Right. And I like to remind myself of this. I'm not doing this to be like, I don't know, like play into my ego. I'm reminding myself of this because I need this reminder to know, like, so I can see like evidence, like, see, Ange, it worked out back then. You showed up for yourself and it worked out well for you. How can it work out well for you in the future? You need to find evidence for what it is that you want to believe. You got to find that evidence. Train your brain to think that way. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. A lot of times I have clients tell me they're worried about what someone's going to think about them. If they reach out to them or if they get rejected, or what if they think this, or what if it doesn't work out? And a lot of times I need to be like, what do you mean it doesn't work out? What does that look like? And they're like, I mean, if they don't like me, or if I don't like the job, or I don't, whatever it is. A lot of times they even need to dive deeper into like, what do they really mean by not working out? Like it doesn't work out, the fear around that. And then we look at it and we're like, okay, so if you don't like the job, then what? Then what? I'm right here with you. We switch the job. It's okay. We know how to do that. You've done it before. You can do it again. And I'm here supporting you, right? Is it really that scary then? And how do you know? How do you know unless you try it, if you like it or not? That's how we gain wisdom in our life, right? And then the other thing is, what if they don't like you? What if they reject you? The worst that could happen is what? What you make that mean about you. And that's always in our power. We can make it mean that is just not the right situation for us. That God has a better plan for us, right? We can make it mean whatever we want. We can make it mean, I don't really like that person myself. If I really think about it, I actually really didn't like them, you know? Or we can make it mean something bad about us, but it's always in our control. And I think a lot of times though, those thoughts around like the worst things that could happen in our mind, a lot of times they're not as bad as what we think they are, but we let that story run in our mind. And then we don't take any action at all. Avoidance. So that's another thing I want to talk about in this episode is like, I'm going to go back to feeling frustrated about not getting the things done that you want to get done. But I want to also talk about how that relates to avoidance. A lot of us are avoiding doing the things because of fear of what could happen, or fear of trying to avoid a certain feeling around it. Like it makes you uncomfortable in some way. And avoidance and frustration and depression, self-doubt, all of those feelings, they live at the lowest level of energy, which is the lowest level of, the highest state of catabolic energy, but that lowest level of energy on the scale. And in that state, it doesn't feel good. It does not feel good to be you in general feeling like generating that energy, and it doesn't feel good to be around it. But we generate it because of what we think in our mind and the stories we make up. So even if you think about something that you've been frustrated about lately, you're frustrated because you made up a story about it. Like if you didn't get all the things done, you made up a story that you weren't good enough, or that you're not going to have the life that you want now. You're not going to have that because it's like nothing's happened for you. You can't handle all these things, blah, 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 right? All of this story that we make up. And we all do this stuff, but I want to just let's take a look at it and let's look at the stories. Let's look at what needs to happen so we can be who we want to be, because we're frustrated that we're not following through on being the person that we want to be, right? All right, so I'm going to talk about something recently that I was frustrated about. And of course, this came from a story that I was not taking care of myself. And when I think that way, it really bothers me because I have a huge value around my health and taking care of myself. Okay. So whether that story is true or not, whatever, the story was causing me to feel frustrated. not doing the thing was causing me to make up a story that caused me to feel frustrated. So I was frustrated because I wasn't getting in my workouts. I wasn't journaling. I wasn't taking time for myself before my client sessions, feeling just busy with life. So I packed up all my husband's meals. There's so much coordination that goes into like helping support Ian on the trail. And a big part of my identity is like, I want to be a loving and supportive wife. That's who I want to be. So as I'm like planning all of his meals and like, helping him, I'm doing all the things and prioritizing his stuff. And then I'm driving him to drop him off back on the trail and then come back into my Airbnb because, I've been living this nomadic life, hiking all the way in Maine. Guys, we have made it to New York. Like Ian started in Georgia and he already made it up to New York. What the heck? It's crazy. This goes back to like how every little bit counts. Every little step you make, all the things, it all counts and it adds up. It's all a vote for who you want to be. So don't underestimate all the little progress that you're making and what will happen as a result of that. So back to what I was saying. So I'm going to drop him off. I'm in the car, right? And I'm just like frustrated. And he's like, what's going on? Are you okay? And I was like, I'm just so frustrated that I don't take time. I haven't been taking time for myself at all. Like I'm always prioritizing everybody's stuff. Like anything my clients need, anything you need, anything else the family needs, whatever. I'm like doing all the things and I'm like going on my like rant and being like, and he's like, okay. And he's like, so just how about you just take time for yourself, And I'm like, yeah, like duh. And why am I not taking the time for myself? Because homegirl isn't prioritizing it, right? So I want to look at these 3 steps, and I have a bazillion other examples of what this looks like outside of just like not the exercise stuff, even outside of like, outside of the exercise stuff, like I'm talking about even things like you're not doing that you're frustrated about, like, or you're avoiding. Like, let's say a hard conversation and it's like you keep thinking about it and it keeps building up and you just like don't handle it. And that causes you to feel frustrated or overwhelmed or depressed about it or anxious, whatever those feelings are that live at level 1, right? So it can look like that too. Not just like you're frustrated, you ain't caring for yourself. It could look like you feel overwhelmed or anxious because there's something that you're supposed to be telling someone and you haven't done it. And sometimes this might look like, I've seen people like having to let someone go and it's building up because they're like, I just don't want to do that. It's a hard conversation. I had to recently tell someone a hard thing and I was all worried about them thinking I was a crappy person. Like I kept saying that. I was like, well, I don't want them to think I'm a crappy person. I can't control how they're going to perceive me. And I finally did the thing and the person texted me and told me that she thought I was a crappy person. In a nutshell, she was more swear words related to it. That was so damn hard for me, guys. Because the people pleaser in me was like, but I had to like stick to like my truth. And at the end of the day, I was so freaking proud of myself that I showed up, that I wasn't no longer like letting the feelings of frustration build up, talking about the thing, making up drama about it, avoiding it. Like I just did the thing and we moved on and I felt so good. Yesterday, I prioritized the time for myself. It was an amazing day. I was a way better coach, wife, all the things, right? But I had to like make that happen for me. So let's go to my steps. Okay. Step number 1 is to, first off, before we get to the steps, let's clarify. If you're feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, all the things, I want you to think about where's this coming from? What are you actually frustrated about? There's usually, don't say all the things. Don't do that. Usually it's some one thing that's really bothering you that you're not doing or one situation. Get clear with yourself. Be honest about what that thing is. Okay. So number 1 is to be honest about what it is that you want. Okay. Yeah, this thing is bothering you, right? But what is it that you want? Yeah, I'm frustrated that I'm not getting my workouts in. I'm not taking that morning time for myself. Then what do you want, Ange? What do you want? Just me talking to myself. I want time for myself in the morning to have a peaceful morning, to do my morning routine stuff, right? To get my day flowing right. Okay, then what? Like, how do you make that happen? The other situation, let's go back to where I had to have that difficult conversation. It was like, what do you want, Ange? I just want to feel peace about this situation. I want to be done with it. Okay, well, what do you got to do? Then you got to tell her. And you got to be willing to let her think that about you. and be okay with it and know that what story are you going to make up? Are you going to make up a story that you're a bad person because she didn't receive you in that way? Because you know you're not a bad person. Like, I have to talk to myself all the time through this stuff. And sometimes let's go to job stuff. Speaking of that, if you guys want help with that, definitely go to happentoyourcareer.com. Talk to Cindy. We can hook you up. You can coach with me. Anyways, or just reach out to me at angembarnard@gmail.com or at angela@happentoyourcareer.com. I just have to put that out there. Anyways, career stuff, I got to bring this up because that's a lot of the people that I'm working with. If you're frustrated that you're not getting the roles that you want, okay, what is it that you want though? What do you really want? I want a job that allows me to do X, Y, Z. I'm frustrated because I don't have the flexibility I want. I'm frustrated that my values aren't being met. So what I want, let's shift to what it is you want. Let's talk more about what it is you want than what it is you don't want. First, we shine a light on the don'ts so that we can get clarity on what we do want. All right? What do you want? You want more flexibility? You want more money? You want better people to work around? Okay, cool. Now, who do you have to be to make that a reality for you? Who? Okay. Now this goes into our steps. 1, you're being honest with what it is you want. Okay. Step 2 is you prepare for the success. What do you need to do? And then you need to decide when and where. You need to put this in your calendar. You have to decide when and where. That's the part people leave off, but you're more likely to do something when you decide when and where. It's like you're setting an intention. Your brain sees it, your brain can visualize it. When I think about okay, I'm frustrated that I'm not getting my workouts in, taking that morning time for myself. What do I want? I want to take time for myself. Okay. What does that look like? Looks like me exercising, journaling, yada, yada, all the things. I got clarity around that. When are you going to do that, Ange? Put it in my calendar. Where? Make your mind vision it. We do this in the Commit to Your Vision program. So helpful. Because this is the thing. The people struggle so much, not with getting clear around what it is they want, the follow through of it, the making the time for it, being that person. And because they don't do that work, the being part, they live life frustrated, right? And a lot of times it's sorting out the clarity. It's okay, look, cut the crap, cut the drama in our minds. What do you want? We have to go there first, because otherwise we just make up this whole freaking story and we live in the frustration, the confusion, the overwhelm, right? No, we're done. We're done with that life. Let's go. Okay. So you prepare for the success. What, when, and where goes into your calendar. You got to take time to do this. You got to take time to even think about this. And that's stuff we're not even doing. That's why that morning time is so helpful to you, or that block off that chunk of time for your day to do this work. I want you to decide when and where. We talked about that. It's worth saying again. And then think about do you need accountability to follow through? You probably do. So you might need to find someone that can hold you accountable to doing this work. I actually have a friend right now who helps people specifically by holding them accountable to playing big in their lives and doing the things that they actually want to do. And a lot of times, guys, the whole playing big thing is usually not big, huge things. It's usually little things that are scary to us, or that we're just not following through on. So if you need that help, you can go find her she just created a new Instagram. It's _accountabilitist. So you can go over there and check that out. Get some accountability if you need it. All right. Let's see here. My next point I wanted to make was, sorry, I'm scrolling down through my notes. You got to find the people that will hold you accountable. You need to get real with yourself. What do you actually need to follow through? Okay, we might know we need accountability, but is there something that's distracting you? Do you need to put yourself in a different environment? So I have to keep myself, I have to be real with myself about this. For example, a little tweak I did recently is I journal first thing versus doing my workout and then journaling. I used to do it the other way. I'd try to, and then I would just disregard my journaling aspect and working on my mind. I would just, because I was I can spend longer time workout, or I would get distracted with I don't know, something. It just didn't work out. No pun intended. It just did not work out. So instead I flipped it, where as soon as I wake up, I get my coffee and I have that quiet time for myself. Feels so good. I get my thoughts out. I get my plan going for the day. I check things off. I feel good. And then I move into my workout. So I knew that I had to shift some things around because I was getting distracted. It wasn't working out for me that way. Again, no pun intended. We'll just keep saying that. Okay. And then other things to think about is like, like if there's something that you want to get done, like in the environment, like other distractions, kids, food. Can we say food? Because think about it. It's like a lot of us, like I can't work in the kitchen a lot. In this Airbnb I'm working in the kitchen now, but because I'll just sit there and eat. It makes a perfect sense because I'm used to sitting in a spot and that's where I eat. Like that's why it's not a good idea for a lot of people to sit in a spot and work there where they actually eat a lot. You know, like where they do the dinner, like on the counter, all the things where you're prepping food, because your brain looks at like, it's like, oh, this is the environment where I eat. So it triggers that for you. So you need to put yourself in the right environment. What kind of environment is going to give you the energy you need to follow through? You need to be inspired because you're doing like some creative thing. What environment is inspiring to you? You need to be focused to follow through. What environment would generate focus for you? That's the least amount of distraction there. Do you need to like shut things off, take your phone out of your sight? What do you got to do? That's what you got to be figuring out so that you can follow through. Environment plays a huge role. Your people you're around play a huge role. Okay? Your schedule. Those are the things. If you want to up level, you want to change your life, you need to change what? Your environment. Hands down. All of us. Change your environment in some way, even little tweaks in it, like I just told you about. Your health may need to be upgraded because you may need more energy than your old self needed to be. Like, for example, my old self, I didn't need as much energy as I need now. But because I have so many coaching clients, I'm trying to live this nomadic life, trying to do all the things, live my best life. I need a lot of energy. That means homegirl's got to take care of herself. She has to prioritize her health in ways that I didn't have to really to function in the, how I lived my old life. Like I didn't have to do that. But now since I'm becoming a new person who does have a lot of responsibility, I got to show up in a very different way. Okay. So my schedule changes. I got to be like, I really have to prioritize my schedule like crazy. Like I block in like my workouts, my, oh my gosh, like little, when I'm going to text someone back, I'm not even kidding because I have to, otherwise, or I choose to, otherwise it doesn't get done because my schedule is so packed. And that's just part of the life that I have now. Okay, let me bring up this point. This is so good. This hit me recently about how, like, how you complain about all the stuff you got to do and whatever. Think about it like this. Like, those are the problems that are associated with being the person you want to be. We're always are going to have challenges and problems in our life. Like, for example, being a nomad, that's what I call it, as I'm like, living in Airbnbs, going all the way up north of the US, right? It comes with nomadic people problems. Sometimes I struggle having the Wi-Fi I need. Sometimes it's like, I feel like, I don't feel as grounded because I'm like in a new environment and there's a lot of packing up things and settling. And it's just a lot of that. Those are the problems that are associated with the life that I want and who I want to be. And that's a blessing that I get to have those problems. That's what I would have loved to. I dreamt about doing this in my life, having this freedom, getting to do work that I love. And it comes with a set of its own problems, right? Just like if you make more money, may come with more responsibility. Comes with a set of problems. And I don't know why, but looking at it in that way for me, it's like, yeah, I chose these problems too. It makes me feel really good about it versus like the victim about it. You know what I mean? It's like these are problems that are associated with this kind of life that I want. Oh, I want to be the fit girl. I want to be healthy. I got some problems with that then, right? I got to figure out when I'm going to be her. I got to figure out the things I need. I got to look at like maybe on a menu, they don't have exactly what I want. And then I got to like customize the menu. And that might be a little uncomfortable for me. That might be a problem of a fit person or healthy person, right? Comes with a set of problems that we got to show up and face. That's what I'm trying to say. So we can be her. All right. So the schedule, you got to look at that schedule. Get that schedule down. That's why Commit to Your Vision is such a good freaking course. And I know people are like, well, when are you doing it, Ange? You guys know my life. It's been crazy. It's been busy, but I really do want to run Commit to Your Vision. I don't know, like when I settle back down, like in my new place. So if you're interested in that, you want to get on that list, like just email me and be like, Ange, I want to do that whenever you do it. Okay, let me know. You get clear on what it is you want, and I help you follow through, like all the things. Get your life together, okay? Think about how your brain works, environment, your health, the schedule, all the things. So you just email me at angembarnard@gmail. That would be my personal one.com. Okay, so the third tip, there was a lot in step 2. We're going to go over these again. Don't worry. So the third thing is to incentivize yourself. You need to celebrate. Your brain needs to see that it's a good thing. This is why I make people track their progress and evaluate, because the brain needs to be like, oh, I like how it feels to do that. Like, that felt good. I'm proud of myself. All my clients that coach with me know that before the sessions, I ask you to tell me what it is that you're proud of yourself for. I want your brain to see that this is something that feels good that you're doing. It needs that evidence. So, for example, I had that hard conversation. That person told me I was a crappy person, blah, blah, blah. But I was proud of myself for showing up. And I even told myself, like, you do that, you go get yourself a coffee. Okay, later. You celebrate. And I did. And I even called like my husband and I was like, I did the thing. It was hard, but I did it. And he's like, I'm so proud of you. I know that was hard for you. And it just felt good because I kind of like celebrated it. But I want you to have an incentive for yourself. It could even be like, if you do this, you follow through, you're going to do something special for yourself. Maybe it's a trip that you've been wanting to take. Whatever it is, like try to like incentivize yourself, because the reason your brain does stuff, even like the habits that we don't like, is because there's a reward. There's a reward associated with it. Think about smoking, right? It may be like people say, let's go of the edge, right? We know how harmful it is. But it's like there's relief there. There's a reward. We need to build in rewards for the things we want to do and who we want to be. We need to make it fun for ourselves. It's got to feel good at some point. Like, let's say working out, like make it fun. Go, like partner with a friend to do something. And then you all always go out and get coffee afterwards. We used to do that when I taught yoga in Beaufort. We would all do our yoga class together, get a little sweaty. And then afterwards, like work it out, because I like to like work it out. And then afterwards, we would go and chill at the coffee shop with watch, the beautiful view and just like talk together like about random stuff and laugh and just whatever. And it was like a reward. People would come to yoga and let me push them a little bit because they knew afterwards it was going to be fun. So how can you build that into your life now? So that you can follow through, okay? So, crap, I gotta go to my coaching session. Okay, we're gonna get this done, guys. All right, so let's go back to our steps. We gotta recap. Okay. Does anyone else like talk to themselves when they do stuff all the time? You know what I mean? I do that. So step 1 is to be honest with yourself about what it is you want. You feel the frustration, you feel the avoidance, you feel the overwhelm. Okay, cool. You feel it. Why are you feeling that way? What do you actually want? Step 1. Notice the feelings. Decide what it is you actually want. You focus on what it is you want. Then step 2 is you need to prepare for being that person. That means looking at your schedule, your environment, deciding what you're doing, when, and where. And then the last step is to incentivize yourself and celebrate. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Please leave a review if you haven't done so yet. Have an awesome freaking week. Reach out if you need anything. If you just want to say hi, email me. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.